My ex-wife slept with another man after our fight, so I packed her bags and kicked her out. Now she's crying, begging for a second chance. I, a 32-year-old male, have been married to my wife, Kate, a 30-year-old female, for 4 years, together for 9. Our relationship has been amazing, loving, and supportive. We have good communication, hardly ever argue, and our bedroom life has gone from strength to strength over the years. We discussed cheating in the past, and I was always clear that we would be over if it ever happened. Kate went home to visit her family last week, which was fairly normal. Before she left on Friday night, we had a minor argument about keeping the house tidy, so our communication was limited on Saturday. But I knew she was going out to meet some friends at a bar. I trusted her 100%, so didn't think anything of it. Before I fell asleep, I texted her saying that I hope she had a nice night. When I woke up on Sunday morning, I had a missed call from Kate at 4 a.m., so I immediately called her to check if she was okay, but got no answer. After a few hours, I tried again a few times, but still no answer. Around an hour later, I got a message saying she was fine and was driving back soon. Kate got home late afternoon and looked awful. She had clearly been crying, wasn't wearing any makeup, unusual for her, and looked like a shell of a person. I knew right away something was wrong, but she wouldn't let me hug her and would barely speak. I sat her down on the couch and made her some tea. I gently encouraged her to tell me what was wrong, and she burst into uncontrollable tears for at least 10 minutes while I was trying to comfort her. She then proceeded to tell me, stopping every few words, that she had slept with someone last night after the bar. At that moment, something in my brain broke. I can't describe it any other way. I immediately got up and jumped in my car and drove off. I went to a park and walked around it for about an hour. Kate was calling my phone constantly, and I turned it off. When I got home, I grabbed 2 suitcases from the garage and went to our bedroom. I threw some of Kate's clothes and shoes into them and left them by the front door. Kate was lying on the floor in the living room, curled up into a ball, sobbing. I called her best friend who lives nearby and told her that Kate needed a place to stay and a ride to her place, and that Kate could explain everything to her later. I told Kate I was leaving for an hour and that her friend was coming to pick her up. She grabbed onto my legs, trying to stop me from leaving. When I returned home again, Kate was gone, and so were the cases. On Monday, with a clearer head, I answered one of Kate's many calls and told her that I needed her to send me an email with as much detail as possible of that night. And if she leaves anything out, there will be no hope of reconciliation. I received this email on Monday night, but still haven't opened it since then. Everyone has been trying to contact me, but I have just been working, exercising, and sleeping. One of her friends turned up at my house with an attitude, demanding an explanation. I told her to speak to Kate and closed the door in her face. I have also been speaking to divorce lawyers, have moved money into separate accounts, and blocked Kate and all of her friends on everything. Everything I have done since I found out seems like I have been on autopilot. I don't feel angry, upset, or overly emotional, just numb. Kate posted a note through the door yesterday, asking me to meet tomorrow, but I'm conflicted. Should I meet her? Will it change anything? Is there any point in trying to reconcile? Is it normal to feel like a robot? And how do I snap out of this? Edit. Just to add that when I came home the first time, Kate confirmed it was consensual. She was drunk but knew what she was doing. Some relevant comments. You're doing the right things, OP. There is no excuse to cheat. You did nothing wrong. It's not your fault. Do not feel guilty. You deserve better. Alcohol can't make you cheat. It just makes it easier to do what's already on your mind. Cheating is never a mistake, but it is a bad decision. Cheating is a choice. She wanted to do it. She wanted to throw away everything you guys had together. I'd say you are 100% doing the right thing. You'd better tell both sides of your family, mutual friends now. Do it now before you are painted as the idiot. First, up to you how you take it from here. But if it's this easy for her to cheat, if you stuck it out, how long till she did it again? And this is just a simple one-night stand, or hard to say which is worse. A one-night stand or long drawn-out emotional connection culminating in a PA? But this speaks to her incredible selfishness. Be very careful. Do whatever your lawyer says, and tell everyone not to be an idiot, but to maintain control of the narrative. They already might be too late. They OP, absolutely. When my ex told me she had cheated on me, I calmly said then our marriage is over. She had her family pick her up, and I consulted divorce attorneys. Didn't see it coming, but wasn't surprised with how she had been acting lately. Divorce took 9 months, and she didn't show up at the divorce hearing. You will always doubt Kate going forward. Anything she tells you, you will question. You will wonder where she is and if she's cheating again. On the positive side, she confessed and told you immediately afterwards, which indicates that it wasn't planned and that she did want to be honest with you and work through it. If you can live with that, only you can decide. Update. After reading your comments, I decided to meet with Kate but not read the email. Kate came to the house yesterday, and when I opened the door, she looked terrible. She tried to hug me and started mumbling apologies, but I stopped her, and we sat down to talk. I started by telling Kate that I would be recording the audio of the conversation, and she agreed. I then asked her to explain what happened and told her that I haven't read the email she sent. Kate said she had been at the bar with 2 friends I know and like both of them, and told me what she had to drink. I was surprised at how little she drank because it was the same amount we would normally drink when going for dinner. A few 2 glasses of wine and a cocktail. She admitted she was only slightly tipsy. One of her friends, Sarah, has a younger brother, Max, 27, male, who came to pick them up around midnight. It's a running joke in their group that Max has had a major crush on Kate since high school, and I had heard them joke about this. The 4 of them went to get some food, and Max then dropped each one off until it was just him and Kate. Kate said she didn't want him to drive the 20 minutes to her parents' place after working all day, so she would just order an Uber from his apartment. She went into his apartment to order the Uber but couldn't get one. Max suggested she should crash in his bed, and he would take the sofa. He would then drop her off in the morning. Kate refused and continued to try to find an Uber. They were sitting on Max's bed, and he kissed her. She kissed him back, and they ended up having sex. She confirmed again that it was consensual. After that, she broke down crying from guilt, and Max took her home. She cried for another hour, then tried to call me to tell me what she had done. We had to stop a number of times because Kate kept breaking down and crying hysterically. She told me it was a huge mistake. She got caught up in the moment. It was terrible. She only loves me, and so on. After she was done, I told her that her story didn't make sense, but it didn't matter at this stage because I was done. This caused another breakdown. I told her I was going to continue with the divorce preparations, but for the next month, we would be separated with no contact. I also told her that we would both remain faithful, would get a full STD panel, and she would tell our mutual friends and family what happened. If she sticks to these conditions, I would be willing to meet again to see if there was any way forward other than divorce. She enthusiastically agreed to this, but made it clear that she did not expect me to stay faithful to her. I know many of you will criticize this decision, but I need to be sure that divorce is the right option. After I have had time to process everything that has happened, I am still 99% sure that is where we are heading, but I need to be 100% certain. TLDR. Heard the story, don't believe it. But we'll slow down the divorce process to see if there is any hope for the future. Some comments. They were sitting on Max's bed and he kissed her. She kissed him back and they ended up having sex. She confirmed again that it was consensual. After that, she broke down crying from guilt and Max took her home. She cried for another hour, then tried to call me to tell me what she had done. This was a conscious decision on her part considering that she was not even drunk. You mentioned that she drank very little and was only slightly tipsy. She knew exactly what she was doing. After the act, the postcoital dysphoria got to her. There's definitely more to this that she's not telling you. If you want to get closer, she needs to tell you the exact chain of events that led her to consciously cheat on you. In my personal opinion, divorce is the only way out of this mess. Stay strong. I'm rooting for you and look forward to the next update. Also, Max is an absolute scumbag. I'm sure he was well aware of your wife's marital status, yet did what he did anyway. Max kissed her, and she kissed her back. I mean, she was already planned it. She knew from the beginning she is going to duck with him that night, and her Uber story he is fake. She did have lots of chances to stop before taking Max's D inside her, but she enjoyed every moment with Max till he finished with her without protection and later confessed you to save her nasty sass. What a crappy POS is your wife. She purposely planned it and enjoyed with him. I don't think it's her first time. Story 2. I met my wife in 2009, and we tied the knot in 2013. She was 18 when we crossed paths while I was 29 at the time. Now she's 33 and I'm 44. Together we have 4 children aged 13, 3, 12, 9, and 5. Throughout our years together, she's been a stay-at-home mom, never having to work or handle any bills. Over time, I noticed her engaging in flirtatious conversations with other men on multiple occasions, but I never had concrete suspicions of physical infidelity. However, things took a turn at the beginning of 2022 when I stumbled upon messages from a new guy who claimed to be enlisted in the Army and heading to boot camp. Despite her assurances that she had no intention of seeing him, come April 2022, she returned home from a weekend at her friend's place with visible hickeys on her neck. It turned out the guy had taken leave after boot camp, and their plan was to rendezvous at her friend's residence. A heated argument ensued between us, leading her to obtain a protection from abuse (PFA) order against me, resulting in my removal from our home. Subsequently, the guy left her friend's house to visit his father nearby. Following my arrest in front of our kids, she brought him back to our house and engaged in intimate encounters in our bed. Once his leave was over, he returned to his base and my wife failed to attend the permanent PFA hearing. She later pleaded for my return, and though I went back, tensions rose due to her ongoing communication with the guy who was scheduled for another leave in the summer. Frustrated, I reached out to his military base expressing my discontent about his adultery with my wife and warning of repercussions if he visited our home. Consequently, he ended up at our neighbor's house, prompting my wife to take our kids and move next door. Despite the comfortable life we provided for our children, including their own rooms and the latest gadgets, my wife opted to relocate with them to our neighbors. In this new setting, they lacked personal space, sleeping on couches and floors. My wife, who has no income, chose to uproot them. Meanwhile, she maintained physical relations with me and continued to fetch necessities from our place. The guy managed to stay there for 2 weeks by avoiding me entirely. Additionally, a no trespassing order signed by our shared landlord prevented me from intervening. Several weeks later, she discovered she was pregnant and given my vasectomy post-birth of our youngest child. I knew the child was not mine. The baby arrived 9 months later, and I took our dog and got an apartment. She frequented my apartment bringing the kids along before heading back to our neighbors with them. I raised the issue of adultery with the Army, resulting in the guy's discharge. You were located near my wife's mother, leading to me facing new charges for threatening him with bail conditions barring proximity to him or my wife. Despite these events, my wife has yet to seek divorce, intermittently contacting me for her convenience. Currently, our children reside with my mother-in-law as my wife struggles to support them. The aftermath of these tumultuous events resulted in me losing my job, a new car and our home, and recently the apartment, compelling us to live with our respective parents. Despite the chaos, she fails to acknowledge her role, shifting all the blame onto me. Her currently still have pending charges and CYS is now involved. Is this really all my fault? Sure, I have fault, but she denies anything is her fault. I'm sorry, all my fault. Relevant comments. Dude, just file for divorce and take care of your kids. Let her go. Sorry, brother. Hit the eject button. I is also a 29-year-old. Marrying an 18-year-old was a high-risk choice with the potential for big rewards, but more likely big emotional pain. Rally to be the best father to your kids. It is your fault in that you have made and continue to make the absolute worst decisions for yourself and your children. Stop trying with this person. You need a teammate, not a liability. Story 3. Just found out I was cheated on 2 years ago. Son might not be mine. As the title says, burner account for reasons. Yep. She kept a lie going for about 2 years, and now I have to get a DNA test to find out if our second son is mine. May even do one for our first for added pain. Wouldn't wish this crap on my worst enemy. I'm a long-time lurker and read so many stories saying hope that isn't happening to me. Well, the crap happened, and as cathartic as it is, it still stings pretty bad. I broke up with her, which is a start. Seeing that I took her back when I thought it was only emotional cheating, but today I found out I was wrong. Need some advice to keep my self-esteem intact. Beyond GY sex or liquor. Thanks, guys. Hope your day is going better than mine, and I'll probably be responding to every reply I get. Comments. You are taking the correct steps. Separation to heal and deal with your feelings, as well as DNA testing any and all kids is good as well. Last you need is that you fed one or none. I say don't be alone if you can, and sleep. You don't realize how much stress the body goes through until you finally tell it to relax. Thank you for this. I'm proud of myself, cause in the past I would have tried to reconcile. Now the biggest thing I'm stressing about is if he's mine or not, cause I love him so much, but I cannot and will not father a son who isn't mine. Exactly how and what did you find out? You are on a very tough road. It will get better. It won't be easy. Remember the saying, when you're going through hell, keep going. Be the best dad. Seek souls from close friends and family. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Work hard. Look after yourself. Accept that you cannot change what has happened. Your future plan is gone now. Make another plan and make it better. Best wishes. This is effed, but I found out because I was helping my mom through her D-Day LM. She told me about an abortion that my BM had during a period I thought was just emotional cheating. We both put 2 and 2 together. I grilled my BM and got the answer I knew all along. Now me and my mom are trading revelations of past behavior from our significant others. LOL, but thank you so much. I won't let this take me out of the game of life, and I hope to keep a strong mental state to show my mom she doesn't need to be with a piece of crap to feel loved as well. I wouldn't pick anyone else to go through this with. What did she say after you confronted her? Did you kick her out? As for the DNA test of your kids, go for it, but keep in mind it could change the way you look at them. If you can say for sure that it won't, even better. I can imagine you just want to have clarification after all. Best of luck to you. Sometimes it really helps to write down the steps you took. See a lawyer to find out about your options. Get everything written down. Took her a while, but I pressed until she admitted. Was a real gut punch. Kicked her out. As for the kids, I'm getting a DNA test for both. My firstborn I'm sure is mine, but just to be safe. She told me the second isn't, so I'll get one just for 100% clarification. Appreciate the advice. Update. Thank you for all the kind words. Promise I'll reply to them all, but the most newsworthy is this. Boy is in fact not mine from her mouth. So I'm not getting a DNA test. This is truly the lowest point I've ever had as a man on this earth in this year, the year of our Lord 2024. I have been broken. Update 2. I began drinking. Not a whole lot, but I'll come back to this in the morning. I thought I was stronger than this, but I'm weak. I promise to stay safe. Update 3. I'm just laying in an empty bed. Pretty numb. Appreciate all the advice. To the people who said to get the DNA test and my name off the birth certificate, I'll be doing that sap. And to the people who warned me about drinking, I should have listened. It hurts a lot more today than yesterday, but I have to stay sober, or else I'll let these emotions out in a negative and most likely volatile way. I can't answer everything right now. My mind is everywhere at once. Just checking in, I guess.